Welcome to Edge Unscripted. Listen along for candid conversations with the Edge marketing team on a variety of subjects in the world of PR and marketing and other topics that have our attention. Let's go off script.
Welcome back to Edge Unscripted. I'm Amy Juers, and I'm here with my favorite co-conspirator on all things PR, Vicki LaBrosse. Hey, Vicki.
Hey, Amy. Happy to be here with you today. So, are you ready to cause a little trouble? And by trouble, I mean PR trouble.
Well, we're always up to no good. Everybody should know that.
We are all up to good only, I think.
Oh, sorry. Only good. Yes. That's right. You have to correct me.
Well,
is that on the record?
So today's topic is really a game changer. I know we joke, but it's really important because with AI taking everything over in our space and everybody else's space, today's topic is going to be how to earn AI-driven PR and get your brand cited in generative search engines. So it's more than just being found. It's about being the leader in your space, in your brand. You want to be ahead of the conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a changing landscape. I mean, let's face it, our audience is savvy here. We have very smart people in these industries, and they know what good PR looks like, but that whole new AI layer it's something that's kind of new for a lot of people. And so that's what we're going to uncover and talk about today is how to attack that AI layer that is so new and so influential and so important to our clients.
So true. You are absolutely right. Do you remember back in the old days when the press room was in the back of the conference hall, little room that was set up and sponsors and exhibitors would drop off piles of paper and with the hopes that journalists would go in there and access their information, but half the time competitors went in there and stole it?
Right.
Well, we've definitely evolved from that time. Now the press room is a living and breathing entity. It's powered by algorithms, and if you don't adjust, your brand could be invisible to both robots and reporters.
Right. Robots, they're coming. All right.
They're here.
I'm sorry, they're here. All right. So first, can we talk a little bit about earned media? Because that is sometimes so hard to get. As we know, we live and breathe this every day. You do more than anybody that I know in this whole universe in terms of our industries. And so, it's not just about the mention, it's about showing up both where humans are looking and reading, but also showing up where the AI, the generative search engines, are looking for that trusted resource, that trusted information. And so think about respected trade publications, blogs, analyst reports, and like podcasts and features, kind of like this. But, those are some of the earned media opportunities. I know that you know this the best, so why don't you go ahead and just take the mic and tell us everything.
Yeah. Well, you are exactly right. I mean, everybody wants to have the big golden quote in, let's say, the law.com outlet or Accounting Today, but people often forget about our regular, tech review blogs and different newsletters that also have a lot of street cred. Even your own industry niche podcasts that you think maybe nobody's listening to, think again. I've kind of broke it down for you some different ways that you can really amp up your earned media. It's really about regular outreach, not just when you have an announcement going out. So you want to make friends with your journalists, reporters, editors, influencers within the space, and reach out on a regular basis. Do some smart targeting. Relationship building is everything. That's why they call the media relations, right? It's not just a one-hit wonder. It's really also taking the time to read and see and listen and learn about what your media friends are talking about and writing and recording too, and putting a voice to their voice, right? You want to pitch yourself all the time as an expert and not, again, just about company news. It needs to be about what you know within the space. What's the current trend? How can you put your voice to some serious thought leadership? There's so many smart people within our space. Don't, discount yourself. Get your voice out there.
Right.
And not only you, but I'm sure you also work with other smart people within your firm, company. You want to also get those people as authorities in front of media and journalists and prospects and clients. You want to offer readers or listeners some really cool data that they can take away, and exclusive insights, maybe even a different point of view, something that, maybe everybody is saying, ABC, and you come back and say, well, how about 1, 2, 3? It's just really getting your voice out there on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's true. And then just kind of a little bonus note is, every time that you are cited, or you or somebody from your company or your company is cited in a story, it's a new data point for that generative AI engine to start scanning and finding you as a credible resource and provide credible results for its users. And so when you have more mentions, that means more digital voice of confidence finds, right? And with AI, volume and quality matter. It's not just throwing things out there just to get them out there to get cited. It really needs to have quality, because these engines are getting smarter and smarter every minute of every day. And so you can't really, I don't think you can trick them. So, don't put all of your eggs in one basket though, too, like what you're saying, Vicki, in one industry pub or one channel. You really need to diversify and get cited everywhere that your industry really cares about.
That's absolutely so true. The next point that I want to make is about structuring your content, both for not just humans, but for machines. Now we have to gear towards the machines. This is what this talk is all about today. Bots are picky eaters. So
wait, do you have a picky eater in your house?
Yes. You have to know how to work with the picky eaters and feed them what they
Right.
want, so they don't starve, right?
Right, exactly. Oh,
And
yeah.
on that
We
note,
can
honestly,
we'll talk more about that later, how to handle those
yes.
picky eaters.
But I know, like,
All right.
my picky eater, and when she's all grown up now, but back in the day, she just wanted to eat sugar, which is junk. Same analogy. You don't want to be feeding bots junk. You want to put quality out there.
Yes.
So here's a few steps that you can consider. Again, quality, clear headlines, make a bulleted list, use subheadings. People love, and by people, me, I love tips and tricks articles, easy reads, 3 ways to reduce risk, or maybe reflections on risk mitigation, or whatever your topic might be. It needs to be something easy that will grab a reader's attention, right? Also, provide some direct Q&A. Answer the question the article is asking, or the podcast, or whatever the medium is that you're using. Let's say it's, what does the new AI policy mean for law firms or CPA firms? Have a 1-sentence answer ready to go, so people can just bing. If they don't have a lot of time to read through 1,000 words, they can read through the first 300 words.
And plus the bots don't want to read through 1,000 words either.
They don't.
Right?
And again, reflecting on what we were just saying, you got to get your key messages to the top, because if the bots don't want to read them and your readers don't want to read 1,000 words, put what's important right up front, right? I think that's also just some marketing PR 101 that sometimes we lose track of those basic things. So keep your important stuff right up at the top. You can also write a summary paragraph, meta descriptions that answer the headline's question. And then, if you're in charge of your CMS and website, you might want to sprinkle in some markup and structured data to help control that.
Yeah, the schema markups are really hot right now. And if you're not doing it, get on that train. It's going.
For sure.
Hop on. And if you don't know how to do it, call me. I can help you with that. Or I have someone that can. I don't do it. I'm not that smart, but I know people. That makes me a little more smart. But anyways, so yes, let's not put that main point down in paragraph 12. Let's get it, bubble it up to the top. It is useless down there. Make it do some work for you right from the beginning. And then, AI just loves clarity. Give them that snackable version right up top, or you are risking getting ignored.
Absolutely. And I
Okay,
think
oh,
humans love clarity too, right? I mean,
that's so
just bam, give
true.
it to me how it is, straight up.
That's so true.
Yes.
We have a lot to do. Get to the point.
Yes.
All right. So I love this next one. Amplify. So a single killer quote that, you can echo that across dozens of channels, not even a quote, a story, an article, whatever, a press release, you name it. Especially when you're in control of the message. And so this is not earned media, but this is your self-controlled, self-published media. And so, Vicki, what do you have to say about all of that?
Yeah. So that killer quote that you just mentioned, make sure that's the headline of your next blog post. So if you had a sweet quote from like an analyst interview or whatever, put it right at the top of what you're going to be writing about. Link it together. Make it work for you. Don't recreate the wheel, right? I mean, yeah. I know that I always say I'm not on the TikToks, but I kind of am, because you know what? Every time you click a reel, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it's a TikToks. So cut up those podcasts. If you're on a podcast, you can make little tiny clips. We just did it for a wonderful conference we were just at, and we could string all the clips together to make one big episode or run separate clips. So people like that little, again, digestible little click. Make sure that you're tagging whoever's in your interview with you. If you have a journalist or media person, they would appreciate that. Again, building back on that media relations point. You want to include your key earned mentions in every piece of comm you have going out. So if you have a company newsletter, make sure that your clients, your prospects, your readers are seeing you in the news, right? Use press logos. Did you ever go to a big box store, or really any store? I think most stores have them now. The as seen on TV section, where you can get like the gloves or whatever. So, and I mean, that really draws you in because you're used to seeing that brand. There's some, street credential built up behind that. So using like a press logo on your communications, as seen in law.com, as seen on Attorney at Work, as seen on CPA provider. Those are all really great ways to put some trust and credibility behind your brand and your name. Another great thing to consider is to maybe rewrite an insight for a guest op-ed. Then you can share all of that on your social posts too. So don't forget, social media is still king when it comes to AI crawlers and all that. So
yes, very good advice. And so AI bots follow the breadcrumbs. And so every repurposed version is basically another dart landing in that bullseye, or landing at least on the map. And that's how you become an authority for these engines. So really good advice, Vicki.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about being a value provider within every interaction. This is like our team would probably roll their eyes because they hear me say this all the time. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second.
Yes, do I have to listen? Do I have to listen?
Yeah, you're going to tune out. You're like, oh, I've heard this before. But you guys, you can't just sell, right? There's a time and a place for that. There's wonderful programs out there to do some pure selling, advertising, you name it. Do that, but not when you're trying to do some really great thought leadership PR and position yourself as an expert. Right. That's not the time to just pure sell your product or your service offering. So some of the ways that you can provide value without selling is to offer something to your readers, to your prospects, to your clients, to your listeners, whether it be a checklist, or maybe you did a survey or found a survey within the industry that shares some really cool research findings, any sort of tips, anything that help both readers and reporters out. Don't be afraid to give away. I think sometimes we're afraid to give out our secrets, because then if they get it for free, they're not going to want to buy it. But actually the opposite is true. If you establish yourself as a trustworthy, knowledgeable person of your product, your space, your company, they will buy. So don't be afraid to give out some important nuggets. Respond to media requests, you guys. We get this a lot, and I know we all get busy in our day-to-day, But if a media is looking for something that you know that you could contribute and add value to, get on it and get on it right away. Because you know what? If you don't, your competitor will. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about HAROs, HARO. Those are help a reporter out. There's also a new one that is called SOS, Source of Sources. That's a great one to respond to. Anything that you see on social media that media has questions for or looking for sources, be that source for them, be the go-to. Also, be generous in your podcasts, your webinars. If somebody is asking you a question, answer it. Answer what they're really wondering. Don't just dance around it. Again, being direct, have your one answer ready to go. Yeah, those are some ways you can really be providing some value within your interactions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the ultimate goal is on the media side is to make the reporters, the editors, and the analysts make their lives easier. And once they know that you're a reliable, trusted resource for them, a source for them, they're going to come back to you again and again. And not only do reporters and editors love this, but I know AI does too. So think about it in that way. Like, you're just as responsive in providing that information to reporters. You should be just as responsive and provide that information to the AI engines as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk about tracking, analyzing, adjusting. Just don't fire off your campaigns and forget about them, right? Don't fire off that email and paste it everywhere and repurpose it everywhere and forget about it. We need to be aware of what's happening with this information and this data. And I've said this on an earlier podcast, and I'm still going to say it again, where I'm not finding a really, really fine-tuned tool to monitor generative AI results in finding you. We're continuing to research that, and hopefully by the next time I do a podcast like this, I will have something that I'm like, yes, this is it. But until then, here's some things that you can do to look and track and just kind of know what's happening with your information, your data, and your thought leadership. Google Alerts are a good one, so you can use that to track in mentions of your personal name, your company name, etc. We've been using that for years, so still use that. There's also some native app analytics, like, your website analytics, obviously, but LinkedIn has analytics and whatever else. So use those native apps and I know they're dabbling and trying to get into that AI side of things too, but I honestly just don't feel like it's quite there yet still. But still use that data to see what kind of energy that content that you're putting out there is getting. And then you can also track which channels are delivering AI citations and mentions and wherever they are. And this isn't so much, I don't think, for our industry, but this is more for B2C, is the Reddit.
Yeah.
Reddit is getting picked up by bots all the time. And also, I do know this would be for our industries, but it would be directories. Those are another hot area where you definitely want to make sure that you're listed and you're found there, because I know the AI, the generative engines are going to any kind of directory they can find, because that's just, for them, it's a wealth of information and data that they can bring back to the users. So when you do your little practice searches on Google to see if you show up, like, where are they citing? Where are they getting their data from? And then double down in those areas. Something that I started doing too, that you all should be doing, is when you get a new lead in the door, you ask them, where did you find us? And I am hearing more like, oh, I did, you showed up in a generative AI search result chat or Google, Gemini. And I'm like, great, that's fantastic. We've been doing PR for a long time, not only for our clients, but ourselves too. So it's just really rewarding to hear that. But anyway, so that's another way that you can just kind of track, anecdotally, if you will, track that kind of results along the AI side. And those are the things I think that you can do right now until something more powerful comes along. And honestly, I think the technology is changing so rapidly right now. I don't think it's going to be soon. But if I'm wrong, call me, email me, let me know, but also tell me what software it is. No, I don't know. I'm still looking, but it's definitely just changing so fast. Everybody just has to just keep their finger on the pulse and do what they can through this monumental change that's happening in our world right now.
Oh, for sure. I mean, PR is a living system, people. You need to always be pivoting. You need to be on your toes. You need to know what's next. You got to adjust your strategy. You have to experiment with some new platforms. I know it's scary, but it's really not. And keep listening to your humans, your readers, your clients, your prospects, your teammates, your coworkers, all the smart people in our industries, and the machine feedback. Do not forget, that's what we're talking about today. So be friends with AI, guys. Lean into it hard.
Yeah, lean in hard. Yeah. Don't fall over though. No, it's okay if you fall over. You got to get back up and keep running. All right. So in today's world, the generative search results and answers, you want to be more than just a name in the news. If you want to be the source or the authoritative resource for AI, and you want to have real people that can be trusted, their words can be trusted. And so I think what we covered today gives you a lot of really good ideas to start with and to head down that path. What do you think, Vicki?
I think you do have a really great start. We talked about some things that you can do right now. But if you need more, lucky for you, at Edge Marketing on our website, we have a full resource center. And so you can get your hands on different tips, PR playbooks, analyst relation insights. Just there's more power to your journey to cited, celebrated, and trusted. So please visit us there. Amy can give you some more info on that.
Yes. So our website is edgemarketinginc.com. And then if you go through the little drop-down menu, there's a tips and guides page. And we literally recently just updated all of those. So this information is hot off the press and there for you for free. We're giving it to you. Can you see what's happening here, Vicki? Are we practicing what we're preaching?
Right.
Free for you. And then if there's any other questions that come from those tips and guides that we gave to you, we're always here to answer any questions that you have. And if there's an area you want us to dive deeper in for our next episode, let me know that as well, because we're always looking for, those gaps that we can fill in the education and leadership that we can provide. So we can make this podcast your monthly habit if you really want it to be. And which robot or reporter is listening in, I don't know, but we're going for it, right, Vicki?
We are so going for it. And you want to make your next headline and your AI answer all about you. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Yes, Vicki, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Edge Unscripted.
This has been Edge Unscripted. We appreciate you joining us and hope you enjoyed the conversation. Connect with us by leaving a comment and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.